everybody, how is it going? Welcome back to another hashtag Lockboss show and giveaway. Not only are we going to be going over some new Ilco keys that they just released that I bet you're probably a little curious about what they are. Of course, we're also going to be announcing this week's 5 lucky winners. Now, of course, I have this gentleman sitting off to my right. Greg.
PJ.
How you doing?
Good.
So for those who don't recognize this familiar face here, this is Greg, and he is the sales representative for Ilco.
Mm-hmm.
And what other?
And Lab and DTEX.
And DTEX.
Yeah.
Awesome. So he's here today. He actually brought the Ilco van, which is out front, and been going over different demonstrations to the staff. And when I walked out there, you were working on the Engrave It XP.
XP, yep.
And you were engraving some do not duplicate keys?
Correct. And the reason for that is one side is totally blank. So it's easy.
It's easy. Good stuff. So, yeah, we have all that going on. Excited to be here with you all, and we'll get the show started here in just a minute. Now, of course, you can see what I got on is our Aloha t-shirt, which I'm sure you have seen some. I tell you what, really big hit. And next Tuesday, we're going to have the staff on, and we're going to be telling stories, cracking jokes about Aloha's last week. So, yeah. Well, great. First of all, I want to thank you for being here. And I also want to recognize that right now, my computer's telling me that it says it is 99 degrees outside with not a cloud in sight.
Terrible.
And from just looking out there, it also looks like a little smoky.
It is a little bit smoky. We saw some fires in the hills as we were driving in.
Yeah. It's kind of been every August around here. It's a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
it is hot. We were in the Tri-Cities yesterday, and it was 104 or something like that. It was just awful.
Really?
Well, I'm a polar bear, so
okay. Well, I tell you what. Hey, thank you for being out there and giving us those demonstrations and answering questions. Even though in the van it's probably even hotter.
It is. But this is a fun time. We get the van once a year. We start in the Pacific Northwest, and we picked it up about a week ago. We end up in British Columbia on the 22nd of September. So we have a long time with the van.
Wow. What a good almost couple months or month and 45 days.
It's a good month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of road time, I guess, huh?
It is. We're already, by the time we get home, it's going to be close to 2,000 miles already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of miles. But hey, the van's looking great out there. Good. It's different than the last one that was here.
I think that we're fine tuning what we put on it. We're trying to put machinery or equipment that's new and new technology. And I think that we've done a really good job in the past. It's, it can be crowded here, there, this or that, but we've got some really good equipment on there this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and of course, we are drinking Topo Chicos today. Cheers to all you out there drinking them. Nice and refreshing to have a little Topo. Although I will say, I put these in around noon, so they could be a little colder. I apologize about that, Greg.
It's 100 degrees outside. They feel very cold.
Okay. I mean, hey, I totally understand if you want to hold it against me that they're they're cold, but they could be cold. Right. But let's see here. Oh, yeah. It looks like William C. He's in Central Washington. Says it's 108 there right now.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
It's kind of like, I tell you what, down in Orlando, that 113 degrees or whatever with 80% humidity. I kept on telling everyone to quit calling me PJ and call me Wet J because you're wet.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You are wet. But I'll save the rest of those stories for next week. So, Rick, well, hey, let's hop into the show. We'll go over the meme of the week, post of the week, and then let's dive into these Ilco keys. But before we do, I really want to talk about the fact that since Aloha just got done and the van is here right now, between all of the Aloha specials still going on, and the van specials that you give out when you visit a distributor, they get specials.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
I'm telling you this. If you have a Ilco machine or advanced diagnostics for that matter that you have been wanting to buy and been like, do I buy it now? Do I buy it later? there are probably, I don't know, the most amount of sales I can remember at the same time between the two of them.
We're looking at about 3 pages worth of promos, not only equipment, but you're also looking at tokens. It's
UTPs, tokens.
UTPs, yep.
So if you've been sitting on the fence or you have a UTP or something that you'd like to renew, now would be a fantastic time between the Aloha specials and everything else. So
It's really
so make sure you bring that up. So go ahead and give us a call and or send an email in to us, and we'd be more than happy to work with you on that.
awesome.
So, all right, here we go. Post of the week. This one comes from Nick R. It says, I just received my Lockboss swag. Thank you. Yeah, see a tumbler there, hat, shirt, stickers, koozies. Looks like a fruit snack sticker and some real fruit snacks. Now, I do have to say, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, okay? But I'm gonna just tell you right here, right now, live, and I need to do a little investigation. But when I was downstairs a little while ago, actually when we were walking down the stairs, when I was looking up straight ahead over the shelving, I noticed that we have another brand of fruit snacks. Now, we've always done Mott's.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some Welch's or something. So I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Because I know I still need to investigate, but I want to tell you first before I investigate, okay? Let's see here. All right. So Nick R., thank you so much for sending that in. All right, here we go for the comment of the week. This one comes from Cam Locksmith. He says, what? I totally didn't know about that. Does that work on all storefront locks? OMG. I just received in my brain more Lockboss knowledge. Yes, Cam. So when it comes to the Adams Wright aluminum storefront door hardware on the dead latches, yes, I have not seen one that you cannot just manually cam a dog, I should say, into place, right? So, Greg, I don't know if you know on the storefront hardware, the dead latches, right?
Yep.
A lot of times people are asking for a paddle that you can dog down, right? Mm-hmm. And they are sold. But it's what people don't realize is that a lot of people don't realize is that there's a dogging mechanism built into the latch, which all requires you to do is to push in the dead latch and then turn the key in the opposite direction. There's these little tabs that go down and it keeps it dogged in.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So a lot of times, and the cool part is by doing that is you're giving the security of the door to the person who essentially has the key. Right. Or if they're on the inside, you can technically push it in and use the thumb turn.
Right.
Nonetheless, gives you a little extra security and you don't need to buy anything extra.
Nice.
So that was a video we just put out on Sunday. But all right, let's see here. Yep. Hey, Sean C says, my girlfriend loved the fruit snacks in my order. Mott's are the best. Yep, that's how we do it. All right. All right, so next up is the new Ilco key blank. So, Greg, here just, when was it? Last Thursday or it was very recent.
Last week, I don't remember.
Last week. I know it says July on the announcement, but we didn't get it in July.
Right, no. Nope, just sent out. I think you're right, it was Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday or so. And so Ilco released a bunch of new keys. And is what I want to do with you here is I have them pulled up on my screen in a second. I just want to go and kind of talk about them. And it's always good to know when a new key comes out. And there's a decent variety. So depending on if you only do, commercial residential work or automotive, there's really something for everyone on this. So let's go ahead and pull it up here. All right, here we go. So here's the first set of them here. So you can see these on the screen here for Harley Davidson. And I really want to focus our attention in on the Ilco numbers. Okay, so we have the X number, right, which we, of course, know comes from Taylor. But it's the other numbers I really want to focus in on. Now, if you've been around for a while, they're probably going to jog the memory a little bit, right? And you're going to see the HYD 15, HYD 16, HYD 17, and HYD 18. And those numbers might sound a little familiar to you because those were the old jet numbers, right? Now, as we know, Jet is not in business anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that Mark, who used to run Jet,
Mm-hmm.
works at Ilco,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now we see some of these specialized Jet keys come back to life.
I love to see both those numbers on there. You kind of educated me on that too. So yeah, it makes it easy. If like you said, you still have it in your system and easy to look up. And,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really cool that Ilco came out with these keys. So if you have been stocking them or been trying to get them and realize that you haven't been able to, good news is they'll be back in stock soon. Real soon. I mean, it's just a matter of us receiving them. So let's go on to the next page here. All right. So here we see some more, a couple or one more Harley Davidson key here, which is the HYD 19, which I have to say is probably one of the most sought after Harley Davidson keys. But next up, we have some Honda motorcycle keys. We can see the HD 114. Which really gives me, when I look at that, kind of gives you the YM63 vibes a little bit. I'd have to pull up a YM63 Yamaha motorcycle key, but it really looks pretty similar to that. And then we have a Honda motorcycle key, the HD 117P, which we can see is a high security or laser style key. So that's interesting for sure. And then we have the X289 HD 118 Honda motorcycle key. And Greg, something interesting about this HD 118 to me, and I'd love to know your thoughts as well, but there's a lot of keys that have that profile, okay, that just real basic, the milling on it isn't like something new, right? But what is important when you're looking at these type of keys is the length of the blade from the shoulder to the tip, but also from the shoulder to the head of the key, because a lot of times these keys have head clearance issues. And so you might have that same milling key even on another Honda part number, but because of the length between the shoulder to the head of the key, it won't work.
Right.
So it goes in, you go to turn it, and sometimes at first you think you didn't cut it right? But it's really a head clearance issue.
I don't know if that's because of the motorcycle, the way it's designed, so that you have to get into that. Yeah.
That's exactly it. So that's good. So we had some Harley keys. Now we got some Honda motorcycle keys. Let's move on to the new one here. Okay. So next up, we have the TMC Triumph motorcycle key. And, I was just referencing actually the YM63, but here we have a YH65, which is another, that keyway on both of those, if you look, they're kind of similar, but once again, it's a lot of times the head issues on that. And then it looks like we have a Honda Kia look-alike shell, which is always good to have. And for all of you commercial residential lock bosses out there, you'll see the MA3 master lock key. See that one right there? So I'm actually really, really curious to kind of get my hands on that little guy and check it out, because that keyway, it looks familiar to me. That little profile there.
Yep. I've been asked about this in the past. I'm glad we have it now. So
yes. But yeah, so that's what we have here. Looks like FT RV Denny says, I've never seen a high security motorcycle key, and we do a lot of motorcycle keys. Yeah, so that's a good one to know about, really. So yeah, so I believe that is it. Yep. Yeah, so those are the new keys. I mean, there's 4, 8, 9, 10, about 12 new keys.
Yep. I also noticed that they put on here sales velocity of medium. I guess that really depends on the market that you're in, what part of the world that you're in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think a lot of times, a lot of the keys that us in the industry, a medium velocity key is actually a pretty good mover for us, right? Like I think the highs are kind of the M1, KW1, 875.
I'm going to suspect that Mark's behind some of these too, getting these into our mix. So.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, George Blair says MA3 is the old restricted keyway for the Lotto locks, isn't it? I don't know about that, George, but it's what I want to do is I need to take a quick picture here of that comment because you have my curiosity piqued. So I'm going to take a picture of that really quick, and I'm going to look at that later because, Greg, as a guy who I almost took a picture and brought it in today, but like I keep my Ilco key blank reference guide on my nightstand.
Do you really?
I do. And there's so many times where, maybe my wife's watching a TV show that I just can't deal with.
So you have the new 13.
Yeah, I have the 13.
Okay, good.
Thumbing through that, taking notes. I mean, I love it.
Well, you notice that we've put in some of the high security, some of the plastic heads, and they've never been in before, really, of that volume anyway. So we've really updated. We even have some of the remotes and things in there as well. So yeah,
it's good stuff. Yeah, it looks like let me pull this down here. S&M Lock and Key says Lotto lockout tag out. Okay, that's good to know. S&M, thanks for sharing that, George Blair. I appreciate that. That's actually really good to know. So it's always fun when new metalhead keys get released, right? Because what it does is it opens up another channel for all of us, whether we're selling keys at the supplier level or for people who work with locks and keys to be able to offer those to their customers.
Absolutely. So, and not everybody does Lotto too. So it's good for those guys that are doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really good here. Let's see here. I don't think my friend motorcycle, including gas cap, have another. Oh, yeah, Sean C. Let's pull it up here. We do tons of motorcycle, including gas caps. Having another blank option is great. Completely agree. And that's something a lot of times we don't give, I don't think, the key blank manufacturers enough credit for taking a key that is not like it's something that, they're not going to maybe sell $1 million a year of. They might sell, what's Ilco's threshold? I believe 5,000 a year.
I don't know that that's the case, but we generally wait for 1,000 before it triggers manufacturing. So even if we're out of stock, because not everything's popular, we usually wait until we have 1,000, then we start building it. So
yeah, and so think about it. There's 1,000 of them, 75 cents. $750, at the scale it takes to make these keys. It's really awesome that key blank manufacturers are willing to make these more oddball keys for us.
Right. And Ilco's impressive because we're not only, just making the keys, but we're actually making the metal that the keys are made out of. So we actually melt down the metal. We were talking about this earlier. Yeah. We make big billets and spools of steel, and then we go ahead and stamp and mill out the keys. It's really impressive. We're actually the largest purchaser of spent shell casings from the U.S. military, and we use that to melt them down and make the metal.
Yeah, and so when it comes to that, it's a good point you brought that up. So a lot of Ilco keys are made from the shells of ammo.
Right, and it's U.S. military.
From the U.S. military.
Right.
And so, that's about as American as you can get, right? Let's go shoot. Let's have our military shoot a bunch of guns, collect the shells, send them to Ilco. They're going to melt them down and turn them into keys.
That's exactly it.
Right? Yeah. That is just so American, if you ask me. So really cool. And I would love, do you think I could ever get Ilco to send me a video of that process happening?
Absolutely. I might even have one. I'll see if I have one and send it to you.
Yeah, that goes from shells
to
melting to the strips.
Our last visit that we went back to North Carolina, we were walking around the manufacturing, the smelting part of the building, and you could see on the ground where you would see a shell that was kind of crushed by the forklift. As they're moving things around, one would fall out.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, if you were to take a photo of that in the ground and be like, oh, you guys do ammo there?
Yeah.
Right? So that is just so cool, and I really wish that Ilco advertised that more,
right?
Because it's such a cool thing.
We try to talk about it a little bit more because it is impressive. It's a neat history that we have. It's a relationship that we've had with the military for a long time.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, George actually puts another comment up here which really quick I need to take another picture of, which is the MA3 looks to be the reverse of the M11. So let me just pop this up, take a quick picture so I can look at it later. I don't have my notebook in front of me, so picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But well, very cool. Well, Greg, hey, you know what? Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for letting me go over these Ilco, these new keys. You know, to a fault, and I realize it, I geek out a little too much on it. You know, I mean, can you imagine me trying to talk to my wife about new keys that come out?
I can't at home. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, she'll listen because she's nice,
Right?
You know, but that's about as far as it gets. So, someone having you come on here where we can talk about some milled brass shells, let's call them, right?
Right.
It is pretty cool.
Well, I'm going to reiterate one last time too.
Yeah.
We've got so many specials going on right now, not only for the Ilco van, but the Aloha specials that go through the end of this month. So you got a couple more weeks. Just call PJ and his team and they'll get you quoted out on it.
Absolutely. Yes. We've been doing lots of that and we'll continue to. Anyone who is looking for something. I mean, sincerely, it's one of the best times ever to order a Ilco machine or UTP. Or
right. Exactly.
So it's really good. Let's see here. Yeah, George, I actually agree with this. Ilco needs to make a Toyota Lexus 80K service box. Yeah, I don't know why that's really not being done, but I do know, as a matter of fact, that some of that stuff is going to be coming out because I got to talk with one of the product managers.
And this is actually fun. You went back and got to talk to them and learn some things that I haven't even learned yet.
Yeah.
Just because you saw them last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was really cool. But let's see. Good stuff. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's move on to the winners. But before we do, Julio, I'm going to need you to cue up some tunes. So let's go ahead and get some tunes queued up here for the giveaway winners. And all right. Now, before we announce the winners, let's go over what to do if you win. You want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. You will also be entered to win one of 3 Lockboss bench setups, which include the JMA Burna Simply, the Pro 3000s Universal Kit, and the Lockboss Pinning Mat. And that winner will be chosen just a few weeks on September 7th, 2023. So make sure we're continuing to not only include the hashtag Lockboss when we're commenting, but to add good information. George and S&M and others, thank you for your comments today. Just great value add, and it's really what we're all about here. So thank you for that. But with further ado, let's go ahead and announce this week's winners. Winner number 1 is Jack Fox. Jack, congratulations. Winner number 2 is John Teague. John, congrats. Winner number 3 is Edwin Dong. Edwin, congratulations. Winner number 4 is Chicken Creek Rekey and Lockout. Congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 is Xavier Cruz. Xavier, congratulations. All right, now, of course, we still have our Lockboss Prox Key Tee going on. With you can get it for free with any order over $387.23. Or, of course, you can purchase it separately. So, I just talked a lot there for a second. But I tell you what, I have to say, and next week, of course, we'll have the team on. We'll be talking about Aloha. But man, I met so many of you who watch the show, the live show every week, sharing your stories and what you have going on. And it was definitely the highlight of my time down there at Aloha, meeting you and talking about your business and what you have going on. And, Greg, as you know, I'm kind of a pretty passionate person about locks and keys in the industry. I grew up in it. And being able to meet guys right now, guys and gals who are working as locksmiths, they're loving it. They're trying to grow and expand their business and put food on the table the same way the industry's done my entire life. It just feels good.
Yeah.
I
want to say thank you to everybody out there too for buying Ilco products. We really appreciate it. We don't get to meet all of you, and this is a platform where we can say thank you. So
yeah. Absolutely. Well, Greg, hey, it was great having you. You know, I'm gonna feel a little bad without you being in hindsight. I probably should have pulled the van inside.
It's okay.
You know, I'm kind of good at coming up with that stuff after the fact. So note to self.
Yep.
Next summer, if it's hot, let's pull it in.
If we can't do that, I'm gonna park it like I did. You had a great crosswind tonight or today. So
okay.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay. Very good. But let's see here. Oh, hey, Troy. Yeah, he was down in there. Very cool. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for another show. And next week, we'll have the staff on telling, let's call it war stories from Aloha Orlando 2023. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful evening and stay safe out there. And we'll see you next week. And of course, we've got some good videos coming up. So thank you for watching. Y'all take care out there.